Hello there, and welcome to the Rogue Podcast, a Star Wars show. Today we have myself, David, CJ, and John. We're going to be discussing Volume 2 of Star Wars Visions, which released last week. If you could, before we get into it, drop us a like, hit subscribe if you can. It goes a long way for our channel, helps us out a lot. Trying to get to 100. We're currently at, 73? Yeah, so come on. We know that at least 40 of you are watching, usually. So if you could hop in and subscribe, it helps out a lot. But let's just dive right into it. We'll probably talk a little bit about Jedi Survivor 2 while we're at it. I know that three of us have already started playing it. John is waiting till it goes on discount because he's cheap like that. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Oh my gosh.
See you guys?
Okay, it's good now. I don't know why it wasn't automatically set to have your desktop audio.
All right, we're back.
So now these guys are here.
It's fine.
Great start to the show. But Volume 1, we saw a few episodes of Star Wars Visions that we really enjoyed. I can think of at least 3 or 4 that I was really excited about, and that last year, this time, we had discussed a few that we had hoped would have their own show. I can't really say the same about this season. I think there were some that were interesting in and of themselves, had some really cool art, I will say, and some good music. But there's not an episode I would pick out and be like, man, I'd really like to have a show of this. You know what I mean?
If I had to pick
don't
one,
agree.
I don't completely agree with that. I think
I don't agree on it.
the two that I liked, or the Sith was kind of middle for me. I think it was
Yeah.
a cool concept, but
Yeah,
I
it
don't
wasn't
know if
the
I'd want
best
to. I don't know if I want to see more of that. But
Was
for
that the
me,
painting one or no?
yeah, the painting
Oh,
one,
okay. Yeah, I like that one a decent amount.
and then the Dark Head, Journey to the Dark Head.
Yeah.
Like the classic anime style, or at least when I think of anime, I think of that style. And then the one kind of that came out of left field, maybe because my expectations were really low because of you guys talking about the stormtroopers, the Spy Dancer. I really liked that one.
Yeah,
thought
that one was really
too.
good.
That's
Jake didn't
I'll say
didn't
it
even think those were the
right on the
good ones.
front side. That's what I wanted Andor to be. I wanted Andor to be more like that.
Yeah.
So
What?
we can take that later when we kind of talk.
Like
to
the
it a
hiding
little
and
more.
being spies and like hiding
Well,
from the
yeah,
Empire?
it felt more like a spy thriller.
Well, I mean,
slash
we'll
you
get-
can get more politics.
We'll get
involved
more
in
of
it.
that in Season 2 for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah,
John, real quick.
We better, otherwise they're doing us a disservice with the character.
What was the hotkey for cropping, John?
Alt.
Thanks.
I need
So
to
what
open
would you-
up
would you say,
all
David?
the episode guides.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. What did you say, David? In the midst of
Sorry, I already moved on. Forgot. Source.
so, what about you, David? What episodes did you like?
I think that was my favorite one, but I want to open this to make sure.
I liked the pit.
That one was like, dang,
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
I thought that one was pretty interesting.
when they just chucked the
strange.
dude
Why did they
overboard.
do
I was like, I didn't think they were gonna go that hard, but
Okay, I fixed it. We were having some issues with our scaling on the video. Okay. So, what was it about should we go episode by episode?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, we'll just
Yeah,
do that.
that'll work better.
Okay.
And then CJ, you
Trying to,
want
like, find a-
CJ, you want to share your favorites, and then we'll go episode by episode.
I mean, I feel like I liked this more than y'all did. I liked most of them, honestly. I
Really?
thought 1, 2,
I liked most of them. Yeah, for sure.
5, 6, 7. I thought were all really good. And then the rest of them
Nice, man.
artistically were either good or like the concept was interesting. But I thought those 5 were really good.
I think all of the art direction for pretty much every single one was really good. They all looked
I
crisp
will
and clean and beautiful.
I will agree with that. I thought the art was really good. I guess just the issue I had is I just didn't get super invested into any of these stories that much. Like I watched all of them straight through. And as I was watching them, I was just like I didn't find myself just wanting more, I guess, is the best way I could explain it.
Yeah, the Sith was so-so.
The Sith was interesting trying to figure out what was going
It
on
was
with
good.
the art there, and the idea that she had left the Sith way, or
Yeah.
the Sith Order, I guess you could call it,
Mm-hmm.
I
and to
think
get
the art
hunted
part was
down.
probably like the coolest part about it.
Yeah, it almost felt like it wasn't done at times. You know what I mean?
Which
Yeah.
maybe it's hey, let's save some money, but I kind of what intrigued me the most, or partially the most, on top of just classic Sith versus Jedi is always intriguing to me,
Mhm.
is like, is that part of the world? And if we were to see more of that, could we dig into why is the world unfinished? Is there some kind of unbalance that would be really interesting to get into? It's kind of
Sure.
where my mind went.
I think it was just
think
more
that'd be
so
cool
an
if it-
art. Oh, go ahead, CJ.
I was gonna say, I think it was more a her thing,
Yes.
like her perception of the world.
Yes, agreed.
And so we were looking at maybe how she sees it, so that would be more some kind of conflict in her,
Well, and
rather than
She even
The
talked
world
about
itself
how
being
she is both the dark and the light. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that episode had very much absence of color. Absence of color is really just the way light reflects, right? And just how certain things that she enjoyed, like when she would go paint that area, and when she was doing certain things, you would see those areas around her light up. You know what I mean? But also when she was fighting and using her powers, it was very, very dark, and she was in that part of her personality, kind of.
I think I
But-
like this more than I remember.
Yeah, I liked that episode, and I liked the idea of her master pretty much going there, just trying to get her back, but not so much
that was
saying
cool.
I need an apprentice, but more so saying you are the tool for the dark side, and it's your destiny to fulfill it. And he was fine with that ending up in his death, like kind of like Palpatine saying to Rey, like, strike me down. You know what I mean? And
He's doing the
at
true
the
Sith
end,
thing.
at the end, he says to her, like, well
You're the
done.
master now.
Yeah, you're the master now.
'Cause,
and-
I mean, as we talked about Bane a lot,
Mhm.
that's how it is. Either the master is stronger than the apprentice, and he will destroy the apprentice. He or she will destroy the apprentice
for being
and find
too
a new one.
Yeah, and it's the reason he kills the apprentice is not because that apprentice doesn't serve him well anymore. It's because the apprentice was not strong enough to kill him.
Too weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Bane, is like he thought about killing her so many times because she hadn't risen up to take him yet,
Yeah.
and he was getting
Oh, that-
impatient. He's like, "Kill me! You need to.
Wherein-
It's your job."
And
to
she's like, you are like the most powerful thing that's like existed like in so long.
Oh, well, there needs to be a Bane show or movie.
Yeah,
So
I'm
bad.
just like, they're just sleeping, just
Yeah.
like caught behind the wheel.
Which, back to the Sith,
IDM.
and
Yeah.
coming back to the art direction, if it were turned into a show, I can kind of think of that's how she sees the world, but we could just assume that's how everyone sees the world. So at some point in this season or whatever story, you could have a twist and realize that everyone else sees the world differently.
Yeah.
And
That's what I just hope they do, is that they actually make
make a
animated
season.
shows out
It'd
of
be
this
cool.
rather than just giving
These little clips.
yeah, like a clip, and then we never really get substance ever.
But that would take commitment, David.
Yeah, commitment,
Planning.
a vision,
Long-term story
visions
direction.
for a vision for visions. Crazy, crazy guys. I went full circle. I know.
How about the? Did anyone think of Goofy right away when they saw the Sith? Was it just me?
Goofy,
It's just
like
you.
Um,
I didn't see it.
Goofy
his-
from.
It just wasn't distracting. At
His
all.
ears,
I didn't
his
notice
little,
it.
well, they were tubes, but when it's
Yeah.
straight on, they look like little Goofy ears.
No, after you sent the picture, I saw what you were saying, but that's not what I thought of when I first saw the trailer.
Like his
I
little,
just didn't notice it.
his little ears.
Yeah. It's fair.
Goofy's a Sith, confirmed.
They just look
Yeah.
like black lines, to be honest. They don't really have much.
I think it was
to
also
him.
because his face was white and had his face was very colorful instead of like flesh colored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So it sticks out a lot.
Yeah, the lines. But
Probably what it was.
his voice was cool. He had the really bad Sith voice.
Good old raspy.
I
voice.
think it was a good way to open the volume.
Yeah.
It was a good way to kind of get you
Solid.
Similar to
interested.
the last one, I feel like,
Yes.
in a lot of ways.
So how about the message of the episode though? It kind of felt like we all have, which this was kind of a theme throughout the whole volume too. Of
Yeah.
dark and light. We all have dark in us, but
it
that's
was
just
very
fact of
much
life, and
about
we have
like
to figure out the
identity
balance.
and
Yeah.
finding out who you are. I think it was very much geared towards kids and young preteens kind of, and saying, hey, look at these people who you can identify with, see the things that they're going through, and relate to them in your own personal life. Like, which is in a way is what George Lucas did with Luke Skywalker.
Well,
But
I don't think Journey to the Dark Head was geared towards kids, and that had the same kind of message.
wait, I'm trying to think of the same one. Oh yeah, but they all had that very similar message, though. I felt like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I talked about this already. Where'd it go? A young girl is the opening for Screecher's Reach, and then In the Stars, Two Sisters, I Am Your Mother, Young Pilot Annie, episode 5, Optimistic Mechanic and Disillusioned Young Jedi. Let's see, 6.
Are you trying to like imply that?
Yeah, it was
there
all
a lot of
just
female-
it was very much like young
kids.
Yes, kids.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 7, a young boy and his force sensitive younger sister. The Pit,
I
a
mean,
brave
the
young
first season
prisoner.
had a lot of young.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's. I'm just saying that they were very intentional about, like, I feel like they gave a direction to these studios of the goal that they wanted to put across, and all the studios kind of came with like okay, we're getting a young character and they're going through a personal identity story. Not all of them. I think Journey to the Dark Head, like you said, was part of that.
Which I was kind of thinking
Bandits
it
of
over
Golak.
again today, and I kind of concluded that I'm kind of, maybe in a selfless Jedi way, I'm glad that I didn't like every single episode, because if I would have liked every single episode, then someone
be
else
people who
would have
didn't.
hated every episode.
Sure.
So the fact that I like some and don't really care for some means that someone else can like some, and
It's similar to what I talked about on the show with What the Fun podcast last week. Did you guys go catch that? Did you listen?
a little bit, not all of it.
We talked about how, with how much Star Wars is coming out over the next 10 plus years, there's just going to be projects that just aren't for everybody. You know, there's going to be some things that these people like, some things these people like, some that so on and so on and so forth.
Yeah, some
And
that
I
are
think-
good, some that are bad, and or
And there's some that some people like, and some just others won't be their speed. I think that just kind of has to be the way you feel. You have to approach it. Like, this project
Yeah.
is for me, this one's not. And if you want everything to be for you, then you're just going to be upset a lot.
disappointed. Yeah.
I think they just need to do a better job of mixing it up, is what the issue is.
Yeah.
Because generally we have the same complaints about all of the shows.
Every show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, except the good ones. And then, you know,
All right.
sometimes we still have those.
Let's jump into number 2.
Screecher's Reach.
Screecher's Reach. Once they finally got to the cave, and she kind of had her like little
Episode. Her-
trial there, where
Or,
she
Dagobah cave. The cave. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
it's essentially that. I felt that was pretty interesting, especially with that like Sith that was there.
Dude, I had these earbuds on and was listening to it.
It was
and
intense, man. Yeah, it was legit like
the sound
horror
was-
movie
was-
kind of sounding. You know what I mean?
Those screams were intense.
It was very intense. I enjoyed the last like 4 minutes of that episode. The rest of it I could have lived without 100%. Like, I mean, I guess kind of her journey and just the
Yeah,
idea of how
setting the
she was
scene.
she was upset about it and she was leaving her friends. CJ, you look like you're about to say something.
Oh no, I think this is my second favorite one.
Really?
honestly.
Yeah, why's that?
Yeah. I just feel like the twist at the end,
Mm-hmm.
not even her like with the Dagobah moment, like in the cave, but the ending where the Sith comes in to like actually select her as her apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that twist was cool.
So
I
was
felt
that a
like this
Sith
was
or a
the best
Jedi?
one. I thought
Had to
that was
be
a
a
Sith.
Sith.
Did you see how the metal glow red?
Oh no, I
when
didn't.
she
I didn't
started
remember.
talking to it. Yeah,
Okay.
that metal started glowing red.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Yeah.
that was her.
It
like,
It definitely
selection
didn't
process.
feel very Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the
Which is
fact that
why
she
I thought it was
stabbed the
cool.
lady while she was under the rock too is like didn't feel Jedi
No,
either. So
as soon
Yeah.
as that happened, you're
yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
what I
yeah,
was
not a
thinking too.
Jedi.
Yeah.
I saw it as
Gartzana?
like if they wanted to do their own version
Oh,
of like
interesting
a
game.
Bane story,
Mhm.
I feel like they could have
Rain?
used this one
Yeah.
Rain,
Cool.
anyone?
like an alternate Rain, I guess. But I don't know. I thought it was cool, and I thought it was unexpected.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Like I said, a lot of these episodes had some fairly interesting aspects to them. for sure.
So they all have country of origins. So countries of origin. So episode 1 was Spain. Episode 2 was Ireland.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah.
Like
you can hear
the
it.
Wasn't
like
their
the
voice
artists are from there?
the
So I think
studio?
it was a combination of the studio, who also chose the voice actors and probably came from their country more often than not.
Yeah,
That's
'cause there's the one that was like from India or somewhere.
Yeah, they had like the that was
Indians.
the Bandits of Golak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That one I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed that one. Anything else you guys want to talk about Screecher's Reach?
When they were traveling across the open plains and such, kind of the art direction of the planet was pretty cool, where part of it was just like smooth as glass and they had cool reflections. So it was kind of like, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like Anakin going across Tatooine on his speeder bike kind of scene, which is pretty cool.
I'm gonna pull up the episodes on
Yeah,
my
that's a good
monitor so
scene.
I can just kind of see them here.
Do you guys have a specific website with a lot of some of the pictures?
Yes.
I appreciate
I have a Star Wars fandom. It's got the list of all of them, and you can click in and go in each episode. And
That'll just help me more.
well, so the next one, and if anyone wants to go back to Screecher's Reach, feel free. In the Stars, it might be my least favorite, just because it was so frustrating. The younger sister was so like, just stop it, just listen for once.
Oh yeah, that one was annoying. That girl. I mean, I thought that the claymation was very unique and looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once again, art direction and everything was beautiful. It was just.
And the idea of their mom being a Jedi and like how she sacrificed herself for everyone, and they're surviving on this planet, but like literally is the only two survivors of the whole planet. Really cool. I really liked the older sister. Thought she was a very interesting character.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, yeah, just that little girl was so annoying. But outside of that girl being annoying, it kind of made sense.
Just like Ahsoka.
Yeah, it kind of made sense though for her character that she thinks she can do anything, and
Yeah, I mean, she was probably what, like 8,
yeah.
less than 10 maybe.
Trying to remember what
Amazing.
the stormtroopers looked like in this episode.
I think they just looked normal, did they not?
I feel like they did. Oh, remember they're like Hoth troopers kind of.
Yes, and then I think there was a couple scout troopers. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that I did enjoy that episode, and the idea of them having to like fight for water.
Yeah, the water aspect was really cool.
Yeah,
It was just so frustrating.
just the girl was frustrating, but
Like,
the whole idea of it was pretty cool. I like how a lot of these are set during the time of the Empire, and some of them are just set and you have no idea where they are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get enough that are actually set in something that's based in something we recognize.
Yeah. But even some of these ones that aren't, you're like some of the Jedi ones where it's like, or just Force focused, I should say, where you're like, I have no idea what time frame this is. I don't feel like it's really like ruined by that though. You know what I mean?
no, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And this one was the country of origin was Chile.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
I
It
can feel
it does kind of look like that. Yeah.
Kind of that South American, what's the word I'm looking for? Cultural.
The warm color tone.
Palette.
Well, that in the what's the like the not the history, yeah, like the history style, like the old ancient South
Yeah,
American.
it definitely very. Oh, you mean like with their whole painting and whatnot,
Yeah.
and just.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Maybe I didn't hate it as much as I thought I did. I shouldn't say I hated it. I don't think I really did. I think I was just underwhelmed. But
Yeah. Absolutely.
oh wait, you thought this one, as in the sister one, was the best one by far, Gabe? Huh.
Twist ending release. Oh no, I think he meant episode 2.
Oh, okay, the one that CJ was talking about.
Yep.
Interesting.
The twist
See,
at the
I
end
felt
was
like that
the
one had the
original.
worst art in my opinion. Out of all 9, episode 2.
So,
I'm just not really a
I think you
claymation
mean-
person.
I
A
think
what,
you mean
David?
art direction you like
Claymation.
the least.
Yeah. Oh, you're a claymation person. I'm talking about episode
Yeah.
2. I felt the
You liked it the least.
I liked it
Is
the
that
least.
fair? There you go.
Yes.
I don't think you can say it was the worst,
I could, in my opinion, it was the worst of the 9.
which means you liked it the least.
Yes.
Should be the same thing.
To me, subjectively, it was the worst one of the 9.
Semantics.
I guess. I think episode 3 would have benefited from having dialogue. Everything they did was explained like it would be impossible to tell what's going on. Everything.
I think I know why.
Maybe.
I don't like claymation.
They did was explained like it would be.
Wallace and
impossible.
Gromit.
No, I just assume it's gonna be Robot Chicken, and I just like immediately tune out. Like I immediately like my attention just goes from TV like anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's probably I probably didn't even like watch this episode.
So
honestly.
listen to this concept. I think it's interesting. Gabe brought it up. I think that this episode with the 2 sisters would have been interesting if, or better, he says, would have benefited from there being no dialogue. So, really, everything that they did, they didn't have to say anything in that episode. You would have known what was going on without it. That could have been interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
that would have made it
a little intense. Like, there are some shows that like will have an episode where no one speaks the whole time. Like, did you any of you guys see Only Murders in the Building?
No. But
Oh,
I
really
heard
good.
from you that it's good.
It's very
No,
good.
but there's a show called Prehistoric, I think, on HBO, and it's similar to some of these animated shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just about a caveman who doesn't speak ever.
Interesting. Well, there's an episode that has a deaf man as the main character, and it's just the whole episode is through his perspective, and you don't hear anyone talk the whole time, but just some of you notice so much more. I think sometimes when you aren't just listening to what's being said, so that'd be interesting.
I think that's because either you don't receive information at all, or you actually receive everything that's there. You're not going to be tuning out as much.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I'm watching this right now, episode 3, and I'm like, I don't really recognize much of this, so I definitely tune this out.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the next episode.
Before.
I think this one was my least favorite one, probably.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
one sucked.
I mean, it was for the.
It was fine for what it was.
I'm sure
Yeah.
kids would enjoy it. I said when I was watching this with
would've
Rachel.
found this fun as a kid, I think.
Yeah, I said this when I was watching with Rachel. I was like, you know what? If I was a little kid and I was watching this, I'm sure I would have
This is-
enjoyed it.
It would have been
Robot Chicken
funny.
Jr..
And... no, it's Wallace and Gromit. It's about as close as you can get. Which I know
Robot
is
Chicken
Robot
Jr..
Chicken, but Robot Chicken's a little more crass than what this was.
Even the
This
way
was-
like the ships fly and stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And the-
I just it takes me out, man.
the mean girl,
Yeah.
the mean girl, and her mom are like the same in their wide mouth style.
And their big nose, their pointy nose.
I think in Wallace and Gromit there had to have been a girl character who was scary to me as a kid. Cause I don't know why their faces just kind
Probably all
of
of them.
shudder a little bit. Getting flashbacks.
You guys want to spend any time on this?
I mean, it's
You-
just the same.
You may be able to guess the country of origin.
Japan?
United States?
Well, we're all yeah, United Kingdom.
Mm.
They all had British accents.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, Wedge Antilles. That was kind of interesting. Wedge
No,
Antilles had his own.
it wasn't really.
Hey, he had his
Yeah,
own
yeah.
competition. All right, let's move
Yeah.
on.
Thank you.
Were you guys still talking about episode 4?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't watch it.
What?
All right, this was probably
What?
my favorite
Bro,
episode.
I
Actually,
gave up on those two.
Annie. The girl's name was Annie.
this was my favorite episode.
Yeah, I'm
I
like
agree.
watching it now, and I'm like, yeah, I remember this one being super dope.
It is the. Are we still talking about episode 4? The
No, 5
first
now.
Ever visual of a woman's undergarment.
What? In Star Wars?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? When and where?
The laundry, when the mom was like driving out into the track, her laundry fell out everywhere.
John, you're
All right,
looking
John,
way
I'm
too
You
busy.
didn't
looking
notice
for
that?
it. I'm looking for it.
You'll see
I
it.
saw it. I know what you're talking about.
I think it's red, if I recall.
Is
Actually,
there
I'm
just-
just gonna watch the fight at the end.
What fight? Did I miss a lightsaber battle in I Am Your Mother?
No, Dave's on the wrong episode.
Yeah. I'm
Dave
on
is
five.
just lost in the sauce.
I'm on 5, guys.
Anyways,
yeah.
all right. Journey to the Dark Head.
This episode was great, in my opinion.
Great.
Yeah, so good.
From beginning to end, I really enjoyed it. And I think a big reason I think I did like this more is a part of it was a more classical art style that we're used to seeing in anime. So I enjoyed
A
that.
Attack on Titan type of anime style.
Hmm
I thought it was actually more like like an Avatar: The Last Airbender kind
Yeah,
of thing. Where
I
it's
think
like
it's
a
closer-
Western interpretation of anime.
I think it's closer to that than it is to Attack on Titan. Like we don't have any just freeze frames of people talking and mouths not moving.
Well, yeah, there's no subtitles. Sure. It's not
Yeah, but I'm not saying subtitles. Like in some of the Eastern anime, like you have just stills where there's like a conversation going on. You just see people's faces, like where they decide not to draw multiple frames. They'll just draw one frame.
Yeah, it's going like.
I'm
Yeah,
not even talking about that. Like
Oh,
Attack on
that.
Titan legitimately will have just one paint or one drawing, and you'll have several lines and nothing moves. Like they're just like the camera just pans.
Is their mouth at least open?
Are you
and they're
talking about
kinda-
all the side characters?
No, I'm talking about main characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just
Hey,
there's certain
gotta
scenes
save
they
that
don't
money.
they don't draw every scene out all the way.
But
I'm not-
anyways,
Opposed to it.
So
the story though for this was interesting.
oh, so interesting. Now I don't know the full reason. So apparently the Sith are fighting against the Jedi. I imagine this is
Yeah.
well into the past.
I think High Republic
Yeah.
era.
That's what
And,
I was thinking.
This mechanic decides that she believes that if she destroys this statue's head, that it will be a
Well, you
turning
got to back
point
up
in the
even
war.
further than that.
Yeah, she was a
And
little girl.
He's a monk,
early, right?
a monkess or whatever.
Yeah.
They're
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
that's
a
what it was. Yeah, yeah.
old-fashioned, where their job is to
Safeguard stuff.
view the visions in the stone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. They hone their skill in the stone, and then they just record what they saw and record their interpretation. And that's kind of
Scribes.
like the scribe. Yeah, the scribe's like, this is our job. You don't understand. Because I think
Yeah.
the more
She's
I'm
trying
thinking
to-
about this, the main monk dude is like, it's not our job to just. They're the Bendu. I think is maybe what.
It's not our job to intervene. It's our job to know.
Correct.
Yeah, and she's begging him to do something,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like,
Which is kinda
nah.
cool.
And she gets
Yeah.
determined.
So did she leave? Is that what
Goes
happened?
to the Jedi.
Yes. So she leaves to go tell the Jedi that
That's
she
what it
thinks
was.
by destroying one of the statue heads, the Dark One, that
Mhm.
they can gain an advantage over the evil.
Which I
over
feel like
the
there was
Sith.
at least a 5-year time jump.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
she
is, 'cause
looked way
she goes
older.
from
Okay.
kid to teenage
But maybe
slash
even-
adult.
Maybe even 10 years.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, and I think
And
the
then-
temple also looks like it has gotten
Yeah.
older too.
Yeah, they
And then
showed
they
her.
have the
Oh, she's
The
definitely
youngest
older.
bunch of
Yeah, I just
Jedi.
watched it now.
whose master was killed.
Yeah, by the same Sith.
That was a crazy scene and it's really cool how they didn't do like a awkward flashback. It's more of in his mind he's meditating.
Yes.
And he's
Right.
just like he's fighting with it and he gets the Sith eyes. Which
Is this with a
kinda-
new master?
He didn't get a new master. At
Well,
least that we
but he's
saw.
meditating here with another Jedi.
Oh, I guess it could be a master. It kind of seems more like a
Just a,
interim.
sure.
It might just be like
Nice
a
night.
A
That's a
Jedi
feature.
master, sure. But I enjoyed this the battle that we see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And just how much it's changed his character, by seeing his master die, and how he really wrestles with the dark side or at least anger. You know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily
Yeah.
dark side, but
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he literally gets Sith eyes, which is no joke. Like, if you don't get Sith eyes on accident,
I just read something that was fully giving into your hate, like while you have those,
I mean, for him to come back, he's
which means he's not fully giving in. 'cause
special dude.
He couldn't come back if he fully give in.
yeah. Well, I don't know.
So,
Raven did.
Anakin got Sith eyes and came back
Yeah.
from it.
But this Sith, yeah, he was just designed so cool. The weapon that he used, like deciding not to use a lightsaber.
Yeah, he's got this dope chain.
Yeah.
Well, he still used the lightsaber.
Yeah, I know,
he
but
also,
not only.
Yeah. Well, there's a name for that. The blades on the end of
Mhm.
chains.
Oh,
Cat of Nine Tail.
no. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like a weapon that's used in the real world.
Chain blade weapon. Tempest chain blade.
No.
Oh, here we go.
Flail.
Kusarigama.
Hmm.
A chain sickle.
Did he get stabbed through when he was fighting as the Padawan the first time, or he just collapsed in like sadness?
He
He got like nicked. I think
jumped
that's,
off.
No, in the flashback.
In the flashback fight, yeah, it looks
he
like
has
he
like
just.
that scar under his eye, didn't he? Or by
Yeah.
his lip.
Oh, his eyes went yellow for a second there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And then when
Please don't.
when the dude has the chain around him and is hanging him over the edge, he has another meditation thing where, I just watched it before this, where he kind of goes into
Trance.
his light side self facing his dark side self.
Yeah.
And he kind of basically says,
He chooses,
Right.
similar to what Luke did against Vader.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool that the two heads are light and dark, and then when the girl Ara is going to explode the head she thinks is the dark head, it kind of flushes up with blue, and it's pushing this message further, like it was in the Sith, that not everything is black and white all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's good and evil, and which, I mean, take that as you will.
And there's stuff in the middle. That's neither.
Yeah. So
I
think they
liked how
portrayed it in a much better way.
I also liked how both of these characters neither really wanted the other person to be there. You know, thought that added an interesting dynamic, and then throughout just the next 10 minutes, you know, they became like close through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's always progression. We all like progression. We don't like someone staying up
Stagnation.
here and
Right.
starting up here and staying up here.
Oh, like Ray.
I didn't say anything.
I don't mind when someone gets really cool by getting there, but just starting there is lame.
I mean, you don't want to start the video game with all the.
With all the powers.
All
and
the
just-
cheats? No.
yeah.
It actually isn't fun.
You think it is, but it gets
Yeah.
old really
When
quick.
you're like 8 and you did it the first time.
I also like that throughout this scene, it never really appeared that the Sith was trying to kill this kid. It
Nope,
more
yeah.
so
He
seemed
was
he was
holding
trying
back.
to
He was
trying
like-
to turn him.
It's like going 50% at the most.
Yeah. And it makes sense for the story. Like, yeah, he wouldn't be able to do this on his own. But the fact that he's able to stay in the fight is because he's trying to turn the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole fight on top of that dark head was just really cool, with the lights going off around as they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
You can just do so much. You can just the scale that you can make with animation with this type of animation style. It's just next level.
Oh man, there's a scene where
Where he's
The-
overlooking the ship.
Sith jumps up and has like the smoke around him, and then he comes back down like a spinning attack. He jumps and then comes back on a
Yes.
spinning attack, and their
Yep.
blades hit,
Yeah.
and there's an
Oh, yeah.
explosion right when their blades hit. So
good.
cool. And it collapses the ground beneath them. Like, this would be awesome to see a show like this in anime. It just reminds me so much
You
of
need
the.
to watch Demon Slayer, man.
Yeah, I'm working on Attack on Titan right now.
I know.
I just finished season 1.
Dang,
But-
that's
Yeah.
it.
But there's just it reminds me so much of the Clone Wars that was on Cartoon Network, you know? The
What,
little
the-
short ones.
Attack on
Just
Titan?
this
Oh,
this
the
episode.
Tarkovsky.
Yeah, the Tarkovsky one. And it just makes me
does.
wish that there was just some more of that, you know? It'd just be a fun way to ingest
Dude, I don't know
some
anybody
more
that doesn't like those.
media. Yeah, they're good, man.
Tarkovsky.
Yeah, Tarkovsky. Tarkovsky is like a painter.
What
poet.
what country was this one from?
I think
was
this,
it Japan?
This one was South Korea.
yeah, it's
South
still
Korea.
definitely Asian.
South Korean anime, which is the true anime, is it not? Is in Korea?
I don't know.
The OG anime.
I haven't heard that.
Gabe, I would agree. I kind of assume that Visions has its own canon as well. Like, it's not really set in the Star Wars galaxy. It kind of has its own.
Yeah.
So,
I
man,
don't know.
I've got
Yeah,
the
I see
chat
what you
way
mean about the
delayed.
Spy Dancer helmets.
Oh no, Gabe says it's Japan.
It is Japan.
Hmm.
I think maybe Korea has their own.
They do.
Okay. All right, next we got the dancer.
Yep.
Spy dancer. So, you guys sell me.
Tiny dancer.
I'll shut up. Tell me why. Okay, let me tell you the things I liked about it real quick. I like the aspect of her working as a mole in this super densely populated Imperial area. And I also like the aspect of having her son taken away and reuniting with him later and him not being on board with it. Outside of that, I didn't enjoy this one too much. Convince me why I should like this one.
I like
So-
it because it was a full story.
Yes. That's that. And it felt like you got so much in this little bit, and they could just take that and blow it up, spread all that out, and have such an impactful high moments of a season.
Yep.
Or a show.
This reminds me, this animation style in this episode reminded me of the shorts that they have, like maybe on YouTube, where they showed like flashbacks of all 6 movies.
Oh yeah, I know
and
you're talking about.
they're
I think
done
I know
in a
which one
really
as well.
cool animation
Oh,
style, and the transitions that they use flash between the different eras, which is
Yep,
dope.
I remember that one.
okay. I'm showing this on the screen right now. Oh wait. Oh, never mind. It's being blocked out because of Disney. But I just can't get over the freaking stormtroopers, dude.
Well, okay, so the art direction can change. Like that's not a non-negotiable for me. It could
Yeah.
even be live action, and I would be fine with it.
I guess the story aspect I didn't mind, but it was just so hard for me to watch this one because I just kept seeing these stupid stormtroopers, and I was just like, it's so annoying.
Dude, that's a you problem.
Maybe
Yeah, mine.
It's just so minor.
it looks like I drew it. It's just me. If I'm watching something that's professionally done, I want it to look professional, and this looks like a 4-year-old drew it, like legitimately. I've seen kids draw better than this.
Well, someone from France drew this, and you're crapping on their art.
Is it
This
France?
art
It
sucks.
looks like French art. It does look French. That makes sense.
Everything's round.
It looks French people are so stupid.
The baguettes are round, the faces are
It makes a lot of sense now that you say it's French because it looks so French.
What they're
The
used to,
girls-
bro.
The girls are curvy and thin, and the men are plump. All right, CJ, give us your thoughts. Sell Jake on it.
I don't really have much more to add. I thought the story, like, and the just the interesting dynamic of like what their group is trying to do, was a good setup. My only complaint was I feel like her, like the combat was weird because I don't think she's a Jedi.
No.
And like I don't know, I get it. It's like part of the thing, but it was just I don't know. That was the only thing that I thought that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
She could
But I
definitely be
did-
force sensitive, hands down.
Yeah, you
I
don't
buy
have
it.
She has like
Jedi.
control. She's like killing people with ribbons. Like I don't know.
I think the
Yeah,
whole
no-
idea was like some kind of fantasy land because she didn't have the force,
Yeah,
but she was able to use these ribbons
For
as if she
sure.
did.
I mean, that's her job. Her job is to manipulate those ribbons to do exactly what she wants them to do.
How lame.
Maybe they're like Batman's cape.
I mean, she's a Cirque du Soleil dancer, like,
I mean, I thought it was
but in
cool.
Star Wars.
It didn't make me not like it. I paused in the middle of that first combat scene and was like, wait, what's going on here?
I will say there was
Yeah.
one combat scene where she was in the middle, and then there was a balcony around, and they just kind of stayed in that one shot, and she was hitting everyone around.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
like
saying.
that was the one scene where I was like, okay, well they could have cleaned that up and made it more interesting. But other than that, I thought her
Is that when
use
she's
of the
spinning?
ribbon was pretty much. There's like
Is she
people up
spinning
on
and
the
shooting
balcony.
everybody?
There's people down low. There's people up high, and she's just spinning around and whacking them all.
Oh yeah, when she's like Venom, just like
Yeah.
killing him. I can.
But, ow! I've been hit by a silk ribbon. No.
I'm rewatching it
Well,
now, and I'm just like,
it's not.
Yeah, okay.
I choose to believe that it's not like just a silk ribbon. It's
It's all
it's-
art.
Artistic.
Like I said, I'm fine with it. It's
Yeah.
not. It is what it is. It's just weird. And if it were to be an entire show, I think they would have to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
Else it
Oh,
would
yeah.
be kind of weird to watch. But I do feel like this one was one of the ones that had a more transferable, like an interesting story where you wanted to see.
Yeah. It's just interesting.
up
I want
next.
to talk about that point a little bit. Do we ever think that these are going to be
No.
more than just tryouts?
it sucks, but no, I don't think they will be.
Don't have faith in Disney yet, man.
I think
It's
the
really
only
unfortunate.
thing that might happen at some point is they turn Visions into a kind of show where instead of having 9 different studios do something like this,
They might do like 3
They'll give it-
episode arcs.
that or they'll do it like one gets 1 season, and it's not like a show. It's like you get like 6 episodes or whatever to
Mhm.
make something, and then the next
Even
season
that-
is someone else. But
I,
yeah,
I would
agree.
want
That's
that. I
unlikely.
would want that, but
Or
unfortunately,
we're not gonna get it. Yeah.
I mean,
would
yeah,
love
like
that.
the,
it's too much commitment. It's too much risk, as we've seen of late. Disney is all about Lucasfilm. I don't want to put too much on Disney, maybe if they're involved, whatever. We know Lucasfilm is making these immediate decisions, and they don't want to take on the risk right now. Unfortunately, that's just where
I don't
we
know.
are.
I feel like going forward with Rey, it's a huge risk.
Yeah, and it's like they just don't have anybody new in the room saying, "What are we doing?
Yeah.
What have we been doing the last 10 years?"
Anyways, we'll save that for another day.
Anyways, so Spy Dancer, I watched this. It was my second watch through an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. At the part where she has the flashback and the Imperial dude takes away her son, and the part where she hugs him on the rooftop and is like, basically they have their reuniting moment. I was like tearing up, dude. It was so
Really?
well made. Yeah.
I don't the way they shot. I think this episode had the best camera direction, shot direction, as opposed to like the art direction. You know, clean that up, whatever. But
Just
like
the transitions, going from scene to scene, flipping.
like the scene where the younger girl, the younger dancer, is she gets shot across the face, and it like
Oh, yeah, that
goes
was cool.
into slow motion.
Yeah.
And then the scene where she's flipping over the Imperial dude, and it goes into slow motion right up to his neck, and they kind of zoom in on, and then she goes, and then like there's just so many of those.
When
moments.
the security droid is like climbing up after her.
Yeah,
it's well shot.
This is whenever I complain about how Star Wars isn't compelling, I expect this episode. This episode
Really?
was compelling to me.
I guess I just
Maybe-
didn't feel quite the same way.
Maybe it's just because I'm super empathetic to the familial bonds and the familial kind of information drops. Like, oh, it's her son. Holy smokes, it's her son.
That
So,
she
like,
hasn't
those kind
had
of
in so
moments
long. Yeah.
really get me. And then at the like, they already got me as they were flying away into outer space, into hyperspace, and then they decided to hit you with a whammy, and
Start
the
the
dude
Star
like
Destroyer.
the dude's in the Star Destroyer, and then he takes his helmet off, and like they literally cut his horns off. That part was just like a twist the blade in my gut kind of thing, and that's kind of seeing something like that in Andor, because we talked about it. There's no aliens in Andor. The Empire is trying to get rid of all these alien species. They want only humans. That would have been a perfect way to have an alien, but then also show how ruthless and brainwashing the Empire is.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think that might be something that they address in Ahsoka, is how rare Thrawn was to be in a position of power as an alien.
I
Like
don't
that-
think they'll ever do that.
In the books, that was a huge talking point, you know?
Yeah. I don't think they'll go near that with a 10-foot pole.
Maybe. All right.
So good.
Let's talk about the Bandits of Golak. Brother and sister, who I thought that the brother might also be force sensitive at certain points in the story, and just he knew how to hide it and control it better, but they didn't go that way. I honestly, the end of this episode where the Jedi saves the little girl and says that she needs to go on to the path, which is like the same path that we see in Jedi Survivor later on, but I'm guessing at least. It was interesting to me that he wouldn't be able to go with her. I was like, oh, why can't he go with? I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Is it only for Jedi, or they don't?
'Cause, like-
too
Yeah, I
much
think that was the
risk?
implication.
Yeah, I guess. Or maybe it was just for the moment of him having to say goodbye to her. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely made it more emotional instead of, oh, let's all go here.
Yeah, I suppose it was better for the story, probably that way.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this one. I thought it was interesting, just the idea of them trying to get somewhere safe, and in the time shortly after the Empire comes around, you know, we still got Inquisitors hunting down Jedi, and then we've got people that are, rebelling against that. I thought the Stormtroopers looked good in this one. I enjoyed the art in this one. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Clone Wars. Art
Yeah,
a little
it was
bit.
very similar. A little more 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the I guess more like Rebels than I would say Clone Wars. Like kind of a cross between the two.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not sure if I prefer it or not.
Like some of the characters looked
think I prefer it to Clone
Rebels like. You preferred this over Clone Wars art?
I think so.
Oh really? I love Clone Wars.
But like barely. It's just like just a little bit more realistic.
Yeah,
To
less
the point where I can
less
deal with it.
brushstrokey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clone Wars is like their faces are
Brushstrokey.
brushstrokes.
The last
that's
last
really good.
season is not as much. The
That's
last-
true.
But
It's-
the lighting in these episodes was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
have a lot
again,
of,
the-
like, campfire scenes that are really well lit.
The little girl was pretty annoying.
I was gonna say once again, she uses her force powers and gets
She
Outed.
Yeah, I was really confused by that, to be
Yeah.
honest. It was like it didn't seem plausible.
Yeah.
Like she was being dumb because she had to move the story along.
Yeah. And then we had this one guy coming in telling people about how the car insurance needed to be renewed. And it's the Sith Inquisitor. Reminds me very much of that. Hello, I'd like to call you about the extended warranty on your car insurance.
Is that what did he actually say?
That's pretty much it.
Really? I
No,
don't.
I'm
I
kidding.
don't
No,
remember that.
I'm just kidding. But
Well, I'm trying to remember if he was trying to like trick him into.
no.
Because he
It
wasn't
was just a
actually-
joke. It was a stereotypical joke.
Wow.
Gonna get canceled.
I'm ignorant to this. I don't know what they're talking about.
But the Purge Trooper was cool. Do you guys
Yeah.
see the Purge Troopers in this episode?
Yeah, they
it was
looked like
interesting.
normal.
And then there's like the little slow motion fight that breaks out in the sandstorm.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
enjoy seeing Purge
That was cool.
Troopers.
Yeah. There's just a lot of this episode that was enjoyable. I mean, it wasn't the best story, but just some of the art I think was my favorite in this episode, I would say.
They copy pasted people like straight from Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the Jedi who
train
helps
episode.
Ahsoka.
Yeah, Sinube. Sinube was there.
Mhm.
They had, the fish face people
Montgomery?
that.
Horn?
No. They Squid Face.
Oh, the
It's the episode
Quarren.
with the train.
A Qualish? No,
No, the
Quarren.
episode with the. No,
I already said that.
not
That's the
that squid. Different squid. That's
Oh.
more of an
Oh yeah,
octopus.
the guys on the I know who you're talking about.
So
on
it's the one
train with Boba
episode.
Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
Oh
Dengar,
yeah.
And they're.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of.
The-
I
the
felt like maybe
pirates.
it was gonna go that
or
direction.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
More. They're slave traders or.
Yeah, I thought it would be more about them on the train as well. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
But
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't impressed. It was just funny how they they're from Clone Wars, and it looked like the same train conductor dude was that guy. Could have
That's
been,
fine.
could have been the same asset.
Funny. So Lucasfilm is sharing their assets. Nice.
Oh, also
I
the
don't
way
hate
that the fight between the Jedi lady and the Inquisitor was nothing amazing, but it was pretty interesting the way that they just kind of focused on some details and intricacies that they had in their fighting style and whatnot, like how she broke off into using her 2 lightsabers and the way she had her stances work to combat his, and then finally at the end the way she slit his throat with like the slightest cut. Pretty intense.
That's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
It kind of reminded me of what I would expect Ahsoka to fight like by the time when she's old. You know what I mean?
When
Yeah,
she's
like-
Granny Soka.
like-
Yeah.
Like Prime Obi-Wan. Old Ben.
Just so
More,
control of
more
what she's trying to
efficient,
do. Very
yeah.
efficient, yes.
Which hopefully
Just
we'll
a
see
surgeon.
some of that in Ahsoka.
I don't think Ahsoka's
Taking-
quite to that age yet.
Take notes, David Felonius.
She's definitely that age yet.
She's like, what, 40?
Yeah, it's plenty old to be a
This lady's like in her
like,
80s.
really good.
Yeah, she is a lot older.
Plus, don't Twi'leks live to be like 100 plus?
Yeah.
Or she's not Twi'lek, she's Togruta.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
what I meant to say, though.
Wow.
Hey, I caught it. That's all that matters.
Too late.
Everything lives longer than humans in Star
Pretty
Wars.
much.
Yeah, humans have like, they're the most dominant race, but they have the shortest lifespan. Makes no sense.
Hey, we got to compensate somehow.
It's funny because it's the same way in like D&D.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Or-
We gotta.
I think we're racist. Like literally, our race is better than aliens.
All right,
But
let's
we're
jump
not.
to the pit. I enjoyed the pit story very much.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
the
I,
kyber crystals were cool.
yeah, and the idea of them just taking these prisoners to dig in the camp and mine crystals, and then when they're done, just be like, all right, we're done with you. We no longer have a use. Die in this hole. Man, savage.
Not only that, like
Corporate.
if they try and get out, they're just gonna throw them back in.
Throw them back in.
But it was a little implausible that they did this like 10 miles outside of the nearest city, and it was
Like this big mystery.
like this wide open desert that you think someone would know, which maybe that's the part of the message they're trying to say, is that the cities they're
So
so
focused on-
themselves
yeah.
that
Well, they
don't care
built
about
the
anything.
city from all of this too.
Is that what that?
Yeah.
I thought that's what that was.
Yeah, they used
which
the
also doesn't.
they
make
used the
sense.
money from selling the crystals, and they used the crystals to power it.
So then, why did the Empire even go there to begin with?
Oh, well,
The Empire wanted the Kyber crystals for themselves.
I think the Empire wanted the kyber crystals to build the Death Star,
That's my
but
brother.
there was some left over.
Because yeah, they did have that one Kyber crystal in the middle of the town.
Well, and the kyber crystals lit up the city. That's what powered
Yeah.
the whole city, and that's why like this crystal started singing to the people and whatnot.
It's pretty cool.
I must have missed
like it.
something. I was getting kind of tired at this point. I was probably missing stuff.
Yeah, I was too.
So they're all force sensitive then, right? Because it requires the force to power crystals.
Or wait, I'm trying to see this correctly.
No, that's.
I'm
episode
mixing it
nine.
up
It does
with
not
9.
require the force to power the crystals. The
But wait,
crystals
no, we
power
see the city
themselves.
get all lit up though.
Yeah,
I think that's just like a city being built.
Okay.
but I thought they had a. If you go to the end where the dude is standing and jumping up in town, I thought there's a giant Kyber crystal behind him, or like a sign or something.
All right, I'm gonna look. I'm looking.
No, at the end, it's the girl has the.
Yeah, she's got a
crystal.
little one.
There's lights
a
behind him,
whole-
but it's not necessarily. I'm looking at it now. Not
Okay.
No,
necessarily
it's just
kyber crystal.
artistic city.
Yeah.
Just like cyberpunky.
Cyberpunky, you mean?
But her crystal did turn blue though when she was holding it, so
So she's a Jedi.
More
yeah,
sensitive.
some
Yeah.
force
If it,
sensitive.
if it
Obviously,
does
'cause
glow
She follows
more,
the light.
Yes.
Her light.
Follow
light.
the light. Follow,
Follow
the light.
the light.
That was pretty dumb.
I didn't like it. I didn't get the
Yeah,
reference.
but the kid like climbing out. I don't know. It was an interesting scene. The animals help him.
Yeah, and also
little
him
hard
just
part.
him just being so determined. I enjoyed that as well, and just hopeful. Just a message
remember-
that we see in Star Wars. There's always hope.
Hero's journey.
The message of this episode was follow your own truth.
Yeah, dude, we could go on and on about all the messages that they put into this season. If that's what we want to do today, we can do that.
No, we don't have to.
I'd rather not. It gets exhausting at a certain point.
Yeah. The episodes were good.
Yeah.
Just good. It was undertoned enough to where I didn't
Yep.
care.
Yeah. No.
And that's what I've said all along. As long as it doesn't remove from the story, I don't really care what your opinions
Agenda.
are.
Yeah.
I did like how Ao's song, or how did it say his name? Was it Ao?
Ow.
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 It had that little like crawl at the beginning, kind of breaking down what was going on, kind of giving us context for the story. I would have expected not to like this one just because of not much really happening, but I felt like the story was told in a way that I was really interested throughout the whole thing. Maybe it's because I'm a dad now and I kind of cared about this little girl, but I enjoyed this one, and just her passion for, I don't know if singing is the right thing, but just her connection to, that's how she connected to the Force. And
It looked like she can't talk. She can only sing,
yeah, something like that. So,
which is kind of interesting.
I think I didn't watch
Wasn't
this
there another? I got deja vu at the beginning with the text on the screen. Wasn't there an episode? Was it the 9th Jedi episode in the last
Yeah.
season where they had text
think
at the
so.
beginning of one of the episodes?
one?
yes.
Where the dude's a
think
hermit,
so.
right?
No, the Ninth Jedi is the one where there was
The
the
girl.
girl
Oh.
But did that
whose
one have
dad
the
made
text?
lightsabers.
Yeah, that's right.
I
That was a
believe
cool
so.
one.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and watch volume 1 now, though, just because I want to revisit some of those episodes.
Yeah, I really like the Ninth Jedi.
I think that was the best one, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
I agree.
honestly, I'd love to get a show of that. Like, absolutely, I'd love that.
That one and the other one.
So back to
Yes, the other
Au,
one.
she single-handedly put everyone on the island
Yeah,
a
out of
job,
work.
'cause she
That is it.
It's
found
not
all the
the minor.
crystals, and then didn't she purify all of them?
She purified all the crystals on like the whole
Yeah.
planet.
So yeah, I guess they have to dig them out. So they're gonna be
Entrepreneur, nice.
sitting on. Hey, she didn't follow Joker's advice.
Yeah, she didn't burn the whole forest. She
If
set
you're
it
good at
free.
something,
Don't do it for free.
She did it for free.
All right, we've been going for about an hour here. Let's overall give this. I'd give these Visions episodes like a 6.5 out of 6.5 or 7-ish. Like I thought there was some good stuff in there, but
10?
it's just weird because for what it was, for what this is, it was pretty good. But
Yeah.
but at the
feel
same
like
time, like you're saying, compared to like, I guess that's kind of why I'm scaling it that way. Maybe I'll say for what this show is, I'll give it a 7.
The highs were so high. The highs were like 9.5, 9.6 out of 10
Man.
for me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that so much out of it. Got that much
I
out
The
of
would-
it.
highs,
yeah, I
the
would say
highs
it's-
were high. The lows were
Yeah.
also low.
The lows were like I turned the show off and I didn't watch it. Like I did that with at least I did that with 2, and then I don't even think I watched the second to last one because I didn't get, or the last one because I didn't get there. Probably at least a 7.5. I think. Some of these episodes with the great like animation, those 3 episodes, the 3 top ones, I think like I could get a full show if we got a full show
Mhm.
made by those people. Sure, sign me up.
Yeah. Because scrolling through the last year's episodes, the duel with the first episode of last year was good.
I loved that one.
Very
Very similar to
Village
this one.
Bride was
That was okay.
strong.
I enjoyed that one enough.
Ninth Jedi top tier. Elder was strong, and I mean that's pretty much. Lop and Ochi was good.
Yeah.
With,
Ocho was my other one
Ocho.
that might be my favorite.
hmm
the bunny.
Yeah.
Pinocho.
I love
That was with
So I
like the
guess-
bunny
yeah,
and
no,
the girl.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
all had. I mean, last year had, or 2 years ago had 4 strong episodes. This year, I think they got 2 really strong episodes.
Yeah, this one was a good one.
I would say there were
So-
4 that I genuinely enjoyed in this
Yeah.
season. Maybe 5. I enjoyed the first one more or less. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the Sith. Let me pull up my list again. Where'd it go? Oh, it's
Yeah, I'm
gone.
just going down the episodes and all.
I enjoyed the Sith. I enjoyed Journey to Darkhead. I enjoyed.
Honey dancer.
I didn't enjoy that one quite so
I know.
much.
I know.
Um.
Did you like Bandits of Golok, or the Pit more?
Yeah, I like Bandits of
The Pit.
Golok and the Pit, and I liked Owl's song well enough. I thought it was okay. Screecher's Reach I liked. I don't know. I guess I liked more of them than I thought I did. I guess I just wasn't. I wasn't wowed by any of them like you guys were.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, I want to talk a little bit about Jedi Survivor. If you don't want to stay, John, I understand.
No, I like I told you. I think I know most of.
Okay.
Did you all play through the whole thing?
No, none of
No,
us
I
have
have
finished
not.
yet. It's a long.
So
It's a
I
big
probably
game.
I probably know
I
more
don't
than you
know.
all then.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
I
probably do.
have tried not to see any spoilers. I've loved this game except for when it crashes on me repeatedly. But outside of that,
PlayStation 5.
yeah. I mean, which is weird. I usually run any game I want to on max graphics on my PC and I'm fine. But this one is just like,
What's
Poorly
your video
optimized.
card?
I have for graphics card. I've got a 3080
Okay.
or no 3060.
Oh, okay.
So nothing amazing, but pretty solid.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed the game a lot. The combat with the 5 different weapon stances is really cool. How much you can customize that and just the choices of upgrading what you want to. Like, I pretty much decided which 2 combat stances I liked the most, which are dual blade and dual wield, and I have reset my skill tree, which costs you a skill point, which I think is good. You should have some penalty for resetting your skill tree.
Do you get the skill points back?
No, once you spend it,
Ooh.
yeah.
So if
I
you
mean, you
reset
can-
the skill tree, it's all gone.
You can get
No, you
skill-
get them back. You just have to spend 1 to reset it.
Yeah, you have to
okay,
spend
okay,
1.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. So I mean, I can
thought you
just
meant,
go
like-
XP farm and get it back if I want to.
Yeah.
But it costs you something. So I have all of my
did that at the beginning of the
lightsaber
game.
all of my lightsaber abilities are put into dual wield and double blade. However, that's caused me a little bit of an issue. I'm right now fighting the main boss for the second time, and I am having some problems. Yes, he
He's
is
hard.
difficult. I'm playing it on Jedi
That's what I was
Grandmaster.
upset about fighting.
Oh, the other
Playing
night? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Like, he just every hit does so much damage, and his attacks are so fast. Like you almost can't try to parry, because like what's really nice about these games is your parries are very powerful if you land them.
Yeah. Super powerful.
But he attacks so many times in a row, so you have to parry successfully many times in a row. And if you miss once out of his 4 attack series,
You're just yoked.
you're just like cut to half health and you use your stim. You're like, great, I got 5 left.
But then if you parry an extra
only have
time,
5?
you waste an opportunity to hit.
No, I've got 7.
Oh.
Yeah, and you only get so many hits that you can hit in between his attacks. So say you don't parry and you just dodge, right? You don't break his defense meter down now. You go whack him 2 or 3 times before he starts attacking you again. Now, by the time you get a chance to hit him again because he's on his attack spree, his defense is back up to full strength again. So, like, you're not actually dealing any health damage. It is difficult. I am stuck on it. I spent probably a good 45 minutes last time I was playing before I had to get off, and I haven't been back on since. So, he's tough.
Dang.
But
So-
Are you allowed
So
to
you're
say
at the
who
end of the
that
game.
villain is?
his name's Dakangara, right?
Is it the
It's the Jedi from the High Republic.
Jedi?
The guy you meet
Really,
at the beginning?
really
Okay.
cool. I've actually really enjoyed how much this game has tied in so many different aspects of Star Wars into one game. We've got the Empire, we've got the High Republic and Clone Wars all mixed together. It's really cool. I've loved this game. I'll let you guys talk
Yeah.
a bit. What are some things you've enjoyed?
I like the little like High Republic clothes you get.
Mm.
You know, some of the boots. I got a new pair of boots.
I haven't gotten
for
there
High
yet.
Republic. Um, well,
I
think
did
they're
find a
High
Jedi
Republic.
robe the other day. Did you find those yet, David?
I just have the Obi-Wan Jedi robes that
Oh,
come with the. I might have pre-ordered it maybe.
Yeah, it
once
was
I saw the
pre-order.
reviews were up.
Yeah.
Um.
You can only get that on pre-order or deluxe edition.
Yeah, so I pre-ordered that, so I got Obi-Wan
I'll get that in a
robes.
year when it's $30
Nice.
I'm like, cool.
off CDA.com.
What does that mean?
The keys website where you buy the keys, the digital
Oh.
key.
I will say the
That's
thing
sketchy.
I've enjoyed the most about this game is that as the game has gone on, first off, you start with Cal as he was at the end of the last game, if not
For the
even a
most
little
part.
more powerful. Like you get your dash back. You didn't have that.
You don't
for
have
some
any
reason this game.
combat abilities at all,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
But like
You-
your force powers, you still have.
Yeah.
But the game has, as I've progressed through it, I have felt Cal get more powerful, and he does better against characters. But I've also felt myself get better at the game. Like there's a learning curve, you know what I mean? And
Well,
even
you should have played Elden Ring, man.
no, I like that. I like having that learning curve. Or are you saying I would enjoy Elden Ring for the same reason?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I thought you were saying
should've.
if I played Elden Ring, this would be easy. I will play Elden
no.
Ring eventually.
Yeah, I would even be down to play it again if I get a PC.
Yeah.
This gameplay style has destroyed Assassin's Creed, and I'll never forgive him for it.
Oh,
It's
just
not
the
same.
I mean,
not.
I know it's not maybe not the exact same, but it's still lock onto your enemy.
It's influenced.
Dodge.
It feels so much different than most of them.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's
like if you,
is it similar than Fallen Order? Similar to Fallen Order?
Elden
Yeah,
Ring's
it-
similar to Fallen Order.
it's a little more
it-
fluid.
It's just
Yeah.
like the refined version
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I've played Odyssey and I've played this and Elden Ring, and they don't feel the same to me.
Yeah.
But
I guess because I don't normally play games with that style, so I lump them in the same big bucket.
Well, the Assassin's Creed
They're
games
fun,
turn
man.
you into a god right now.
yeah, you never get that.
Yeah, you don't get that feeling at all. Every fight you're in has risk to it unless you're fighting stormtroopers. And even sometimes
I do
then.
appreciate the enemy variety in this one.
Yeah, agreed. It's
They've
fun
added-
fighting the battle droids.
Yeah, I like the Magna droids.
Mhm.
Those are always fun.
Yeah, all the boss fights, like they're it's rare that I go fight a boss and kill him the first time. Unless it's one that I've played before. You know what I mean? Like
You gotta take that difficulty.
no, never.
Lame.
Even though there are times when it says you can turn the difficulty down at any time after I die. I'm like, shut up!
You suck. Do you want to turn the difficulty down?
Yeah.
Like, I will not give up.
There was this one challenge where
Reveal
like
hatred.
it's called a force tear, and or tearing the force, you go up to them, and then
That's hard.
it gives you this challenge to do. Oh my gosh, they're so hard. There's some of them I'm just like, God.
Force tears are the worst.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're difficult.
I got to the one where you open it. It has like 2 stormtroopers or 3. Maybe it didn't even have stormtroopers.
But
it
all
had,
the
like,
animals?
Battle droid. It had battle droids.
The one you have to kill 150 battle droids?
And it's not that many.
Oh, there's one that you have to kill 150 battle droids.
It's,
That one's
dude,
intense.
I don't know, man. It
Yeah,
was
it has,
pretty
like,
bad
7
because it
of
was 3.
I know which one you're talking about.
It was 2 of the
supers.
dudes with the staff. Yeah, 2
Yeah.
supers, 2 battle droids, 2 guys with the staffs, and then 1 other hard to kill raider guy. I think it was.
Yeah.
And
I haven't done that one yet.
was
That was the
so
hardest one for
hard
me too.
because
Doing
the
it without
supers are
dying,
shooting
or is
with,
it like an
You have to
arena?
do it without dying. It's in an
and
arena.
You're fighting them all in a little bubble.
Yeah.
Because the
Well,
supers, they shoot a rocket.
The
You have
rockets
to
are such a
dodge-
pain because if you don't get the
Yeah.
force on it, like if you don't
Yeah,
grab
you don't
it,
dodge it.
yeah.
So you get hit, and then you also have 2 dudes with the staff, not just one, like hitting you with the power attacks while everything else is going around.
As soon as I see those rockets, I force push as fast as I humanly can, and I just push
Yeah.
that right back at the super battle droid. I'm like, get away from me!
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like most of the time I'm dodging 2 power attacks
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, it's tough.
Full
I have done that
sprinting.
one. There was one that I really struggled with where it was like some of those really big beasts. I don't remember what they're called, but they got like the rhino horns and
I
whatnot.
did that one too.
Zillow Beast.
Oh, it was tough. And then I realized, I was like, wait, I wonder if I can mind trick
Mind
this
control.
thing to fight its buddy. It's like, oh man, this made it a lot easier. I got the whole thing down like 40 seconds after that.
So you upgraded your mind trick?
Yeah, to where I could take on bosses with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh well.
So that's nice.
I saw that.
Let's talk
I was
about
like,
the story aspects of this a little bit.
I haven't done much.
I have loved where Cal is as a person in this story. He's in such a state of conflict. Like, his team left him. This is kind of a spoiler warning, okay?
No, dang.
Okay.
I think I
Kind
need to
of.
like.
That's the beginning.
Yeah, beginning of the game, but who knows how far we'll go. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, now would be a really good time to leave.
You have a spoiler button to put up on the screen.
I don't, sorry.
I don't get what people don't do that. And it's like,
Wait.
if you have a spoiler, just
Spoilers. Okay.
here. Do you want me to?
Write it on a piece of pencil, a piece of
Go
paper. Anyways, so Cal is currently in a mission where he's pretty much just now he's part of Saw Gerrera's crew, and we haven't seen Saw yet, but he's been mentioned several times. But he's part of Saw Gerrera's crew. And he's trying to get intel, yada yada, and you're in this mission on Coruscant, cool stuff. But we learned that his team all left him for different reasons, whether they just felt that they didn't like the direction he was going, or that they were fighting a fight that he didn't want to fight any longer, or they didn't want to fight any longer, or if they just felt that he wasn't going about the right way. They all left him. And he's left fighting on his own, essentially thinking he has to actually fight. Whereas Grease just wants a place to relax. Seer wants to try to help people rather than fight because she doesn't think she really can. And then,
Maren wants to, like, find herself.
Yeah, Maren kind of wants to find out who she is now that the Night Sister
When
are
you
all dead.
find yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, John. It's very useful.
Now I have to just hold it.
Yes. But he's left in a spot where he's got no one again, and he's alone pretty much. And now at the end of that mission in Coruscant, with all of his squad dying except for Bode, he's even more alone now. And it just puts him in a really tough spot emotionally to decide what he's going to do next. And I think that this idea of Tanalorr, the planet that anyone can get to... David, I haven't ruined anything for you yet.
Well, if you mention anything with Gerrera besides the beginning.
Oh, they don't talk about...
we haven't
no,
seen him.
we haven't seen him.
Okay.
Yeah. No. You're further than I am.
I
Are
am.
you?
I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't think he's. Are you
Dude, I haven't left Kobo.
Oh, you've not.
No.
Okay, have you
You're
discovered Tanalorr?
No.
Yeah, so you've
Well,
not...
okay. I did get access to a new planet. I don't remember what it was because I
Yeah,
wanted to go like,
he's
look for
right.
other stuff.
Yeah.
Before you go to Jeddah.
Okay, so you did the Forest Array mission, and you got the droid
Yeah.
Z.
We fight the one armed.
Okay, yep, I won't go past that. Okay. So, he essentially gets the idea of this planet that is really hard to get to, that the Empire doesn't really know about. And he wants to hopefully take his friends there to go live peacefully without worrying about the Empire.
It
It
sounds
just
really cool.
Yeah, it just puts him into this
Sounds like a
state of
paradise.
conflict where, like, do I keep fighting or do I try to keep helping people or do we just go live out our lives away from the
Yeah.
Empire? It's just a really cool place for the story. I just didn't really know where they were going to go with Cal Kestis after the last game, and I just couldn't have thought up a story this good. Usually when I watch Star Wars stuff, we are usually like, I could have thought of a much better story than this, and we to say all the ways we can. This has been extremely interesting. Just the lore behind everything, the history. Every time I pick up a little, like, echo or a little piece of lore, I'm always reading it like, oh, what does this say? I want to know more about the story. So
Yeah, I'm like, I actually care about these.
yeah. It's been good. I've enjoyed it. I strongly recommend to anyone who's a Star Wars fan. So
Yeah, I'm still on Jeddah, actually.
Jeddah.
And I get Jeddah. Yeah,
So
great.
you know what happens on Jeddah, right? In the Star Wars canon,
This is they
Rogue
blow it up.
Squadron.
that's the planet from Rogue One.
Yeah, they
Rogue
turn
One,
it-
yeah.
turn to glass.
They don't turn it to glass.
Or they
No,
turn the
that's
city to glass.
Garrett.
They shoot it with Death Star. The Death Star shoots Scarif.
The Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah, Death Star shoots Jeddah.
Or,
It shoots
yeah,
Jeddah
was the
City.
Death Star.
Remember, that's how Saw Gerrera died.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
I
where
know.
he lives.
Yeah.
In a cave.
With
You haven't been
Bogalit.
here yet.
Bogalit
Boundary,
will know.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. All right.
Um,
How do you like the gun stance?
I don't use it.
I
Is it
don't
bad?
use it either. It's fine. It's just not.
It's fine.
I like the base game.
Yeah, I'm here to play melee, man.
I like the
I will
crossguard.
say I used the gun on the Rancor, so I could shoot it from far away. I was like, that's it. I'm sick of dying to this thing. Bang, bang, bang. Run with my
so
blade.
uncivilized.
Chop it a couple times, run away. Bang, bang, bang. Chop it a couple times, run away. Bang, bang, bang.
So
Although
Like
also
the
the,
shotgun?
That
the
makes
cross
extra damage.
the crossguard stance was really nice for that as well, because it did so much more damage to the Rancor. So,
And you take less damage, which is nice.
oh, that's right. You take less damage when you have that.
I'm tempted to like respec once I get the cross guard, just because I like the double blade, alright, but it attacks so slow.
Yeah, it's fun though
What
when
angle do you all put your vents at?
my vents.
Your crossguard vents.
Oh, dumb.
I have mine are like spiky. I've changed mine.
Wait, what do
don't
you
have
can
the
change
stance
the
yet.
angle?
Yeah,
You
you
can
can.
change
You see on
how you
Twitter,
can
you
change
can
what
do
they are.
this,
They can do
Or
like
this,
V
or
or
this, or this.
Dude, I didn't know that. I knew you
Yeah.
could
Yeah, those
change
are on
which
par.
crossguard you wanted, but I didn't know I could change the angle of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
Twitter, man. Twitter.
I think that's.
I also saw it there.
Interesting.
There's a whole
It's
thing
weird
of like,
because you can
what's your
almost twist
personality?
it too much.
Dude, I want to see what all your lightsabers look like. I spend so much time customizing my lightsaber. It's ridiculous.
I just don't have any news. I haven't done anything yet.
Oh, when you go to Jeddah, David, there's a shop there that you turn in these Jeddah scrolls to as your currency there. You give them to this lady, and she has all kinds of Jedi or lightsaber parts there.
Nice.
So I'd recommend going there.
I got the
Have you all-
Obi-Wan lightsaber though. I
Phantom
have
Menace?
access to that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I-
It slaps.
The one thing about the lightsaber is sometimes it just doesn't look like a complete lightsaber, because if you do,
A legacy hilt.
well, not even the legacy hilt, when you do the double blade, it's one long and one short, so it's not symmetrical. So it doesn't look,
Shogun.
yeah. The
Yeah.
blade itself's not short, it's the handle is. So it doesn't look like a
Oh.
traditional double blade lightsaber. And then when you do the two handle, it's fine. That's why that's probably why I use the dual wield so much, because they look like two individual lightsabers. But sometimes the bottoms look like there's supposed to be more going on because of the pommel that it has. And then when you do the single, it uses the whole thing. It's just this big, huge honking lightsaber. So I wish I could like choose
The length.
the length of my hilt. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could just say, if I'm using single blade, I want to just have single blade. You know what I mean? Because you can't.
Yeah. It just takes you out of it just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'd rather, if I'm doing single blade and dual, I want to have two lightsabers, and I just can choose if I want to use one or the other. Not this. He even corrects. Do you guys see the commercial he did with Mark Hamill?
Yeah, it was so funny.
He was
Yeah,
like,
That was
good.
awesome.
he was like, "You got two lightsabers?" He's like, "Well, actually, it's just one lightsaber that I can split." He only has one kyber crystal, and it's one lightsaber that he splits. I just don't like that idea. I just would rather have two lightsabers that, if I want to, I can bring them together and turn into a double. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be.
That's what I would prefer because I don't like the idea.
That's
of,
what Maul's is.
Yeah.
Maul's
Yep.
is too.
Like, sure,
he
make it
uses
so that I can twist them
just
together. I'm cool with
And then he
that.
gets a second one.
But I just don't. I don't like the way the lightsabers look separated. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I would
And
say.
it's cool too because like, most of the characters that use dual use the Shoto and they use the regular,
Mm-hmm.
the small one, and the big one.
I have found that using the double blade is really fun, but I'm gonna stop using it quite so much because I think it's a little easy. Like,
Is it actually easy?
oh, it's so easy. You block everything
I
if
think
you're
it's
running.
the best one.
It is the best one as far as like ease goes, but sometimes your animations are really long for your attacks,
That's
so
what I think so hard.
Yeah.
so that can be difficult sometimes. But I just so much of me playing this game is wanting to be cinematic. Like when I'm fighting, I want to have 0 times that I get hit, and I want to parry everything and go through super smooth. And then my last attack, I want it to be final. I don't want to keep chopping and stuff after I've already killed everybody. So like sometimes I won't play. I'll just play with the single blade just for that reason because I can control it better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is just,
OCD.
yeah, maybe. But I love the game. It is 10:25, and my sister's sleeping here, so I better
So-
get to getting.
One last thing. So there's a game that came out a while ago where you could play with your friends online. It was an MMO called Star Wars Galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the things that was unique to Star Wars Galaxies. If you did the right thing, basically chose the right career paths in the beginning of the game and did like a couple other random-ish, and you did everything, fulfilled all these random side quests that you wouldn't even know about, like clauses, you would get access to being a Jedi, and you would be one of maybe like a handful of Jedi on the server, or one of like 2, or basically minuscule amount of Jedi on the server. If you died in that game online, you lost the ability to be a Jedi. Your Jedi got killed.
Huh.
The Empire would send bounty hunters after the Jedi, like 20. So 20 players would go after one Jedi in that game, and the one Jedi would take on 20 people.
Jeez.
That's pretty dope, right?
Was it a? I haven't even heard of
It
this
was
game.
it was the MMO that predated World of Warcraft. It's what made World of
okay.
Warcraft World of Warcraft.
So this is like 20 years ago that this would happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was
it's a
this
long
was
time
like
ago.
I think exactly 20 years ago.
Dying.
Yeah, I used to watch my dad play, and I was so like mad he wouldn't let me play. I would like beg him to let me fly a swoop Reich across like Tatooine. He's an intergalactic
I feel like I've heard of it,
merchant
but
lord.
I don't think I ever
He was
played it.
Circa Corporation.
You've probably
that
seen
game?
it somewhere.
Yeah, it was made by Sony. It was like really bad, like not really bad, but kind of bad animation. Cause
I've played
anime-
Galaxy of Heroes.
I don't know that game. It sucks.
Is that the app?
Dude,
Yeah.
the guy that I work with, my coworker, he's on my team. He plays it. They have like 2 fan servers of Galaxies that are still like running somehow. And yeah,
Huh.
it's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, man, if they made a game like that, I'm like, how many of us would just like never leave for a week?
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining the show. Again, if you could, please like the video, subscribe, and we'll be back next week. TBD on the topic. We'll probably have a little meeting here this weekend to discuss what we're going to talk about on Thursday. But we will let you guys know. And as always, may the force be with you.
Always.
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 No more send-offs, John.
Always.
No more send-offs, Luke. Can't do it.
Woo!
John's excited. You got some Nick Rat gum in your mouth, John? Is that why you're so excited, John?
Gotta have something to keep me going.